So when you first try to write, you see that you have to write 90 to 120 pages of this screenplay, and you think it's this massive, impossible task. But then once you finish that first draft, it starts to become real. Like you've done it now. It's not this impossible thing anymore, it's this thing you've done. And I think that that is probably the most important thing that you can learn when you write that first draft of your first script. Because when you come into that, you have all these expectations and you think, oh, it needs to be perfect, it needs to be great, it needs to be, I've had the best story idea that anybody has ever had, and this needs to be great. But the reality is you get to the end and it's not good. It's probably garbage. And that's helpful because now you realize that, one, you can actually do this thing. It's not this impossible thing. And two, writing is a process. It's not about just being this talented natural born genius. It's about writing consistently, about writing all the time, about getting better, about actually finishing scripts. And so I think the most important lesson that you get out of that first draft is the fact that it's possible and the fact that you're not a great writer, at least not yet. And so this is why I want to advise you to take imperfect action, okay? Write something that you know isn't going to be that great. Be okay with it not being this Oscar-winning screenplay. And that'll be so beneficial for you because you can learn so much by just doing the thing and by actually getting through it for the first time. It changes your entire perspective on writing and how it's done and how it's possible and how you can do it. Writing your first draft of your first script is probably the hardest one you will ever write. Because then after that, you know that for your next ones, sure, it's going to be difficult, it'll take a long time, but you know it's doable. You know you've done it. And you know that eventually you can get to the end. And that belief is created because you've done something. And that belief will drive you in the future to get more projects done and to continue to get better. Because now you know you can actually write and you can do this thing and you actually are finishing something. When you're writing the first draft of your first screenplay, always remember that you are learning. You are learning a process. You are learning how to do something. You are not writing the greatest work of literature that's ever been created. You are learning how to do a process. You're learning how to go through the motions of something. So go write it. Make a plan, write every day, and get it done. I'll see you tomorrow.